Hey y'all, hey, so I'm back with another video. I'm not here for a long time. I'm really here for a short time. I'm literally waiting for my man to come get me so we can go get this Christmas tree. That's why I'm hooded up. But I just wanted to talk real quickly about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, the Real Housewives of Potomac, and then Married to Medicine. So I'm not going to be here very long. So I did not do a separate review for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills simply because, to me, not much happened this last episode. Today is Wednesday, so a new episode does come out tonight. If it's good enough, I would assume it's going to be good, though, because last episode was filler. So normally it's like filler and then something good happens. So this episode, like, I'm trying to look at my notes. Not really much happened this episode. The big things that happened this episode is we got the new girl that came on, Amanda, I think her name is Amanda Francis or France or something like that. And she's much younger than the girls, you know. She, we don't really know too much about her just yet. So, but it seems like the girls are being a little bit, you know how they like to haze new girls when they come into the group. So we'll get to see, you know, how she is when things happen. Jennifer Tilly had a paint and sip or whatever where they painted the naked guys. That wasn't really much nothing. Dorit talks about how she's still having issues with PK and the co-parenting and how he wanted to block the kids from going to go see her parents, and there was a whole big kerfuffle. I do want to say though about that, Kyle, you are continuously not making yourself look really good when you constantly stick up for PK. Now, on one hand, some people could say, well, she knows, like she said, I know PK and I know Dorit, so I'm not just looking at her from like just being on one person's side. I know how Dorit is and I know how PK is, so I can kind of be objective in that way. Understandable, but at the same time, if you're trying to get on good footing with Dorit, then like this is not the time to be trying to take her ex-husband's or her soon-to-be ex-husband's side. Like, you could just say nothing. Like, even if you don't agree or you feel like what she's saying about PK is wrong, why do you keep feeling the need to keep sticking up for PK? Because this is not a second time you did it. The first time you did it was at that damn table when you said you didn't feel like PK purposely picked that person up and kissed her in the middle of the street. And now you're coming to PK's defense again by saying, oh, I don't think he meant anything by trying to block the kids from going to go see her parents. Like, stop defending PK. Enough, girl. Enough. I don't care that you know both of them. Stop defending PK. Your friend don't need that right now. You could actually say nothing. Now, if she's being very harmful in her thoughts and her word process, sure. But just sit there and shut up. Shut your mouth, okay? Boz, yet again, Boz kind of got me a little bit this episode. I'm sorry, my daughter's going crazy right now. Boz, to me, keeps like, again, like, Boz is being messy a little bit so far this episode. She was being a little messy with, like, some of her comments, you know, like, about the whole, not the whole Dorit situation, but like towards Kyle and then towards Amanda. Like, she was just being shady a little bit through the episode for me, but it's fine. It's whatever. And I think that was it. Oh yeah, and then at the very end, because, okay, this is my whole thing with Boz. So this is what I want to say about Boz and Kyle. Boz is like very interested in whatever the hell Kyle got going on in her dating life. Now, on one hand, I will say that I'm not getting why Boz is so invested in who the hell Kyle is sleeping around with and who she dating and who she's not dating. You don't have to be super, I don't have to tell you who I'm dealing with for us to be like, get to know each other. We not on that level yet, right? So I'm not understanding that. However, I was going in on Boz in my head during this scene when she kept talking about Kyle, who she was dating, and I had to go back in time to when I first started reviewing this show 4 or 5 years ago, baby. And the whole Denise Richards, Brandy Glanfield situation of it all is exactly why none of that matters. Because Kyle, Dorit, and Lisa fucking Rinna, specifically Kyle and Lisa Rinna, were so locked in and interested in who Denise... Sit down! And who Denise Richards was sleeping with at that time, trying to figure out if it was Brandy or not, when none of that was y'all business at all. So, as much as I would love to try to say Boz is doing too much and you're being in this woman's business too much, I can't even say anything because what y'all did to Brandy. And y'all didn't even feel bad about what y'all did to Brandy at all. So, not Brandy, sorry, to Denise. So, it's like, I have nothing to say. But I will say that it's getting a little bit annoying. Like, she either going to tell you or she not. But at the end of the episode, you pretty much got Kyle pretty much sitting with Erica and telling her, like, it's hard when you're in love with somebody, but you can't tell the world because, you know, not everybody wants to, you know, pretty much like be on reality TV and deal with, you know, somebody like me. Like, I'm very famous, I'm very in the spotlight, and not everybody can handle that. And that makes her sad or whatever, and she cries. Let's just call a thing, right? Girl, you was dating, what's that girl's name from last season? Morgan, I think that was her name. You brought her on the show trying to act like she was your friend when y'all two was really dating. Y'all was really dating, and instead of just being honest and saying, I'm swimming in the lady pool right now, but at the end of the day, this is my relationship with this person, and I want to keep everybody hands off. Y'all just kept acting like y'all was friends, and that was really the biggest issue. If y'all would have just been real and came out and said, yes, we're in a relationship. I know I've never been with a woman before, but this is the person that I'm with. And with that being said, mind your own fucking business. Then guess what? When you got on the show next season and everybody kept picking a product, which people are going to do either way, like whether you admit you with her or not, they're going to pick a prod. So you might as well just say you're with her so that it's out there, so that when people start to be more nosy, it's easier for you to be like, mind your fucking business. Mind your fucking business. Mind your business. Mind your business. All you need to know is that we're together. It ain't none of your business about nothing else. So yeah, Kyle cried about that. I didn't care. Let's moving on. Moving on to Real Housewives of Potomac, which is really why I got on here. Baby, Angel and Kay can get the off my screen. You know, I was like holding back on watching the Housewives of Potomac. I really try to wait a lot of times with certain housewives because I just kind of want to watch it all the way through. I want to know what episodes I can skip, what episodes I can, you know, fast forward through all that other good shit. But I kept seeing people be like, oh, Angel and Kay need to go, Angel and Kay need to go. So I started watching, and I'm just like, y'all absolutely right. Angel and Kay could go. Because my thing with Kay is, it gives that Kay came onto this season really trying to secure, what do they have, a flute or a glass or whatever, like a flute or whatever, that she was really coming on here to try to fucking secure her flute. And that meant acting an ass. And if that meant trying to align with Giselle and Ashley and all of them to go against Stacey, that's what you did. Because why the very first episode, when they're sitting there at Giselle's house and it's, like they just showed a flashback this episode when it was Kay, Ashley, maybe Giselle and Stacey and some other people, whatever, sitting there. And Kay is going the fuck in on this, like, that's why you're a liar. You sat there and tried to get some tears out with your beady ass eyes, because she was upset because she's mad that I think she lied about TJ too, but that's neither here nor there, because she felt like she lied about TJ. But my whole thing is, this is what everybody keeps saying to Kay. All of these are victimless crimes. Like, she has not done one thing to you. And I saw the clip of her on Watch What Happens Live, maybe yesterday or the day before, and Andy asked, a viewer wanted to know, can you tell us specifically what Stacey did to you? Not to TJ, not to fucking whoever. I'm talking about to you. And her answer was, well, I tried to kind of talk to Stacey to kind of hash everything out. She said she didn't want to be my friend. Girl, that wasn't the question. The question was, what did Stacey do to you to make you not like her? You only don't like her based on issues that she has with other people, or, like I said, the whole TJ thing, which had nothing to do with you. Okay, she lied about TJ. Not to say that that's right, but it's like, how did that harm you? It did nothing for you. So, okay, to me, it's just giving too much. Then on top of that, you don't even have a real problem. You didn't have a real problem with Wendy. You were searching for a problem with Wendy because there was no real issue. And then when it was time to bring it up, you really, again, like when Andy asked you, you didn't really have much to say. Oh, you're dismissive. Oh, you're dismissive. Oh, you're dismissive. Girl, you just looking for a problem. You looking to secure the flute. And that's not how you did it. Like, Kay really fucked up this season. She's lucky if she comes back next season. Girl, don't nobody want to hear about that. And then moving on to Angel. Angel wanted to be up Kay. I get it. Because that's somebody that's shy. I understand. Like, when you get around, like, new people that you don't know, obviously, you're going to try to hang closer to the person that you know the best. Understandable. I get that. However, like the girl said, if you want to be mixed in within this group, you have to get up underneath Kay's ass. And one of my main issues with Angel is that every beef that Kay has, you now want to automatically take on. This is my thing. If you're not on this show and you feel like that for backing up your friend, cool, I'm not mad at that. But if you want to be a housewife, You cannot do that. You don't come on the show taking on your friend's beef. That's not how the fuck this go. That's exactly what happened over there on not Love and Marriage Huntsville. What's that other damn terrible ass show? Bell Collective. When Latrice's friend came on the show and tried to act like, oh, I was just on the show. No, but you came on the show because you didn't like the way that Letitia was treating your friend. So you came on the show to embarrass her and to say, hey, I've been fucking your man, or I've been talking to your husband. That's what Angel is giving. Girl, you want to come on the show? Have a clean slate. You had an issue with Wendy for absolutely no reason when your beef needs to be... I'm trying to understand, what the fuck is it about Giselle that makes these girls feel like they have to like bend to her feet, or like they want to be friends with her so badly? I don't understand it, because Giselle literally called you a catfish, pretty much. Not pretty much. She said that you didn't look nothing like you did in your pictures and called you a catfish. And all Wendy did is what she did later at the end of this episode, which is, girl, we're not gonna beat around the bush. The point of the matter is, she's calling you a catfish, and she did it later in this episode when everybody was boo-booing around it, and Wendy was like, girl, they saying that you was evicted. It's not her being the person to like say that. It's her trying to cut through the bullshit of everybody dilly-dallying around. So when Giselle comes to you to say something about that, you're crying. And I felt bad. I did feel bad for her. I felt so bad for Angel, because I think Giselle's a terrible person and should never said that. But you accepted that, right, somewhat. And then weeks later, want to say you got a problem with Wendy because Wendy's the one who called you a catfish. And then when Giselle stood right there and said, no, that was me, and they rolled the footage, you still refuse to let it go. You want to pick with Wendy because Kay does not like Wendy, and Kay has an issue with her. It's pathetic as far as I'm concerned. How are you? And bitch, I would be here all day if I talked about Monique and Giselle and the whole Candace thing. I'd be here for an hour and some change. I ain't got that long. But the point of the matter is that you had all that smoke for Wendy, but then when it came to Giselle, you were so quick to forgive. Girl, boo, boo, boo to the moon. Second of all, Angel constantly will say in the moment that she's fine, and then still be holding on to it 2 to 3 days later, weeks later, whatever. And it's like, girl, I thought you said you was over it. Now you not over it. And also, Angel is a confessional gangster, as we like to call it, because she be having so much shit to say in that confessional. And like I saw her doing on Threads, girl, you better have that same energy when you get on the reunion, because as far as once you get in front of these girls, you ain't got nothing to say. You left that damn trip, went to your sister and talked cash shit, and didn't say none of that shit in none of these bitches' face. None of it. None of it. Ashley Darby, get her the fuck off my screen, because she does not have a storyline. All her storyline is to be a bone collector like Sheree and to pick on everybody else. Because as far as I'm concerned, this season is the Stacey show, as somebody said. It's Stacey and the girls, okay? Because y'all have made Stacey the daggone focal point, and y'all was doing y'all best to try to make it so that, like, she was on the outs. But what y'all didn't realize is that Stacey would actually become a fan favorite. Stacey is the fan favorite. After one fucking season of being on here, she's the fan favorite, and y'all bitches hate it. And y'all really hate it because I'm gonna give y'all some leeway here, right? To be fair, a lot of people did not like Mia because she was a liar. And to be fair, Stacey absolutely be lying. But the thing is, a lot of the lies that Stacey tells, number one, are little white lies. And they're not really lies that are really harming anybody. They're lies that affect her, not other people. And honestly, she's just likable and she's funny. Mia is not likable. Mia tells lies that can actually harm people's fucking livelihoods, and she likes to put her fucking hands on people as well. Ghetto ass trash, okay? Anyway, so yeah, but let's get into this whole house thing. I'm gonna tell you right now, Angel, you are lying, and I don't understand why. I'm not understanding why you can't just be real and say, yeah, we got an Airbnb, you know, thought we was gonna be here. Like you said, you could have just stuck to your story at the end, which is, we rented an Airbnb, which you don't want to admit that for whatever reason. We rented an Airbnb. I thought that within 6 months we would be out, but the time came faster than I thought. Instead of just being honest about that, you said that there was a mix-up and the place was double booked. First of all, I'm gonna tell you why this is all a bunch of bullshit. Because, bitch, I'm Queen Airbnb. I stay at Airbnbs all the time when I go out of town, mostly because I have dogs or I have my kid with me. If it's just me and my nigga, we gonna stay at a hotel. But if it's like a group of friends, I have my dogs, or I got my kid, I'm staying at Airbnb. When I went to Vegas with like me, my nigga, and some friends, we stayed at Airbnb. I'm Airbnb queen, so I know how to fuck this shit go. First of all, that text message that they popped up on the screen, I don't know why you allowed them to have that, because that did not help you. It said that you needed to check out by 1 o'clock. When you have an actual like rental, like you signed the lease for 6 months, even if it's the sublease, it does not say in your contract anywhere you have to be out by 12 o'clock or by 1 o'clock. That is the checkout time that normally an Airbnb person is going to give you. Normally it's 11 a.m. But that's normally how it is. It's normally for Airbnbs, it's a checkout time. When you sign an actual like lease to be somewhere for like an extended amount of period, there is no, oh, you need to be checked out at this time. There's also no text message saying, oh, you know, just make sure that you're out. No. Your lease is up. Your lease is up. You need to be out by end of day, whatever day the fuck that is. Period. So to me, that whole text message did nothing but paint you in a bad light as a liar, because clearly, okay, let's just say it was a short-term rental. This is an Airbnb, because she tried to be like, oh, it's just a short-term rental, but like it came furnished. It's an Airbnb, and I don't understand why you couldn't just say that. There's nothing wrong with that. Another thing too, why I know you lying, is because she said that the place was double booked, and that somebody else pretty much like she was already there, and the owner pretty much booked somebody else for her during the time. I'm gonna tell you something else why that's bullshit. Because if that is the case, if that was like the person on the other end, their fault for double booking you, guess what? Especially through an Airbnb, those people that are coming to stay, they have to find somewhere else to go. It's not that you as the person that's already there leaves. The person who they double booked now has to kind of find something else, because that's happened to me in the past before, where not that I'm the person that's staying there, but I'm the person that they double booked. So I asked for something, they said okay, and that happened with this Vegas house. I forgot a couple months ago. That's exactly what happened. I put the money down for Airbnb, and then maybe like a month before it was actually time for the Airbnb, for me to go to the Airbnb, the person wrote me and said, I'm sorry, I have somebody, that I had already that's already there currently and is gonna be there. So what they did was refunded me my money, and then I had to look for somewhere else. It wasn't, oh, that person gotta go. That's not how that works. Because that's not on you, that's on them. And that's what I'm not understanding, because on one end, she's saying that they double booked it. Then on the other end, she's saying that she gave them the wrong dates. But then she's also saying that there's miscommunication. But then at the very end of the episode, she said, I don't even know what happened. Girl, call a thing like Giselle said. The point of the matter is that, do I believe that they're trying to move there? I do. But I do think that they thought they came and moved here for filming. Y'all are not the only people that did that. Almost all housewives at this point move closer to the city that they're supposed to be filming in and then go back home. That's what most housewives do at this point. Except like in Atlanta, because a lot of the girlies just live in Atlanta. But y'all wanted to come here for the show. Y'all already have family here, so it made sense. Moved here for the show, and y'all was going to move back to y'all Colorado house once the season was up, and then just come back and forth like you said y'all was going to do. Do I believe they're looking for a house? Yes, but I do think that they thought that they was only going to be filming for about 6 months, and then the lease was up. I don't understand why you can't just say that, and why you have to lie. Like, this is one of the things about the housewives that I don't understand when you're coming on as a housewife. When you're coming on as a housewife at this point, you've definitely watched the housewives. So for you to not know that people are listening to every single word, they are going to catch every contradiction, they're going to catch every lie, they're going to catch what you said 3 years ago and compare it to today and not have your story straight, makes no sense. It was no point of lying. You should have just told the truth and said, and my thing is, even if, like I said, at the end when they had their party, Angel said, and they asked about her situation, Angel said, we had a place for 6 months. We thought that we would be able to have, find our place in that amount of time. And There was some miscommunication there. And then somebody asked more about the dates, like, were you supposed to leave the 1st or the 12th? And she's like, I mean, honestly, I don't know what happened. I'm not sure what happened. I don't really know. It gave when Phaedra was like, I don't know how pregnant I am. And Ashley, with her messy ass, I hate Ashley, but she was right when she was like, I would think you would be on top of something like that. This is my whole thing. This is what I don't understand. Why didn't y'all just sign a lease for a year? To me, that's what really makes it feel like y'all came here just for the show. Because if you were literally planning to just stay here and only here until you bought a house, I don't think 6 months would be sufficient. Like, for example, I'm going to be leaving here where I'm at in Pennsylvania, and I'm going to be moving to Seattle, Washington, right? When I move to Seattle, because I want to buy like my home there. When I move to Seattle, I plan on living in like, you know, like a rental or whatever, like an apartment, a rental house for 1 solid year. And within that solid year is going to be my time to kind of get everything together. I'm going to already be looking at houses. I'm going to already have everything lined up and kind of, you know, bulk down to maybe 2 or 3 houses. So when I get out there, I'm only looking at these few houses. I could do everything I could do to close out. I have time. I don't understand why the fuck y'all would think, if this was really y'all plan, why would y'all get something for 6 months and not just do a whole year lease to make sure that y'all are good? To me, that makes the most sense planning-wise. Sign a rental agreement to stay in a place for 1 solid year, because that gives y'all more than enough time to not only look for a place, but get all of the documents. Do y'all know how long it takes? I mean, clearly they have houses. It takes a while to close on a house. Like, in my opinion, the only way that y'all was going to get into an actual house within 6 months is if y'all came to Maryland with 2 to 3 to 4 houses already locked in y'all mind of what y'all wanted to do. Because, again, after you actually look at the house, then you got to go through all of the paperwork, and you got to get it inspected, and this and that, and then the closing paperwork. Like, it takes a while to close on a house. It takes a little bit of time. So that makes 0 sense to me at all. I think Angel is full of shit. I think they absolutely came for the show for just now. I think long term, they do plan on having both places. But there's something else too that I wanted to say before I get off of here. I think Angel is used to being in a WAG situation. So when she came into here, I think she thought that the fact that she was a WAG and you know who Bobby is or whatever, that it would give her like some kind of favor in the group amongst these girls. But my thing is, you got to know your audience. This is not WAGs. This ain't WAGs to Riches on Netflix. If you was over there with Sherelle and them, girl, you would fit in perfectly. But over here, specifically with the Housewives franchise as a whole, and specifically we're going to talk about Potomac, who your husband is don't really dictate your social hierarchy in this group, if that makes sense. The husbands do play a small role into the hierarchy, but a very little bit on Potomac, especially because I think Angel and Wendy are the only people that's like married, and I guess technically Stacey, but it's like these bitches ain't even married. So you coming in with the standpoint of like, oh, I'm a WAG and Bobby this and Bobby that, and I get $5K and I get this, and like it doesn't, to these girls, they don't care. And I think that Angel is probably used to being around other women and in social situations where, because she is a WAG, it puts her like here on a social hierarchy. But amongst these girls, they don't care about that. And I think it bothers her that she probably feels like she has the most out of all of them, but that she's still at the bottom of the totem pole as far as like, you know, the social circle. But that's how it is. Like, this is not a group of women that the fact that you are a WAG, the fact that you got money, it don't really matter as much like that in this group of girls. Take that shit over to basketball wives, to football wives, to WAGs, where they care about that type of shit. But in this social hierarchy, nobody gives a shit that you're a WAG. Nobody gives a fuck that you live in your big... Nobody cares about none of that, girl. We care about you, your personality, and how you carry on this show. And so far this season, you have done a terrible fucking job. It's been terrible, Angel. Terrible. Now, you got the reunion to pretty much like kind of like redeem yourself, but that's all you got is the reunion. Other than that, your ass is grass. Let's move on to Married to Medicine. I only want to talk about the one scene, and we all know the one scene. Okay, where Simone, Cecil, Michael, and the other one is sitting there. have the conversation. First of all, $60,000. I'll punch you right in your face. Simone, you better than me. I would have been cut that credit card off. $60,000 when I'm already paying your car note. I'm already paying for your rent. What the fuck? And this is not even trying to be funny. Michael is bummy as hell. I do $60,000 where? I don't see no Balenciaga. You're not even fly enough. It would be different. It would be different if I at least saw Michael being fly. Like fly ass clothes, fly ass this. Like you was a bum. So where the fuck is the $60,000 going? I'm trying to understand where's the $60,000 going if you're not paying for tuition, you're not paying for books, you're not paying for food, you're not paying for the roof above your head. You do know that $60,000 is what, like that's what most people in America don't even make that yearly. Yearly people don't even make that. But you spend $60,000, you look like a bum. You don't have anything to show for yourself. Like, and you're sitting in my face asking me for a new car on top of that. Simone, I'm sorry, but part of this is your fault because, again, you allowed that. Ain't no way I would see the way that bill is being racked up and not cut that shit off. That shit would have been cut off expeditiously. Expeditiously, it would have been cut off. Cut off immediately. She's doing enough. Second of all, the entitlement is insane. I want to know, what school do you go to, Michael, that people are, I don't give a fuck, white, black, Indian, I don't care. I want to know what school you're going to, that these kids are leaving and immediately becoming millionaires. I need to know what school you're going to in the United States of America, where the minute that the child walks out of school, I don't give a fuck if they debt free or not, becomes a millionaire. Do you know how long it takes after you even have your degree to even get somewhere with that shit? After you graduate college, you got at least another 4 years probably of actual like working before you can even get to your fucking career. That's how the most of us actually work. As somebody that went to fucking college. That's how that actually works. And another thing too is I think it's real interesting. Y'all live, and nobody's pointing this out, y'all live in Atlanta. You don't live in Colorado. You don't live in Beverly Hills. You live in Atlanta, where I know for a fact there is more than enough wealthy black children in Atlanta. But your response, but your retort is, what about all the white kids that get to do da-da-da-da-da? First of all, we don't ever compare ourselves to white people. That's number one. But number two, like Simone said, what about the white kids that do get paid and they do nothing with their lives? If you think I'm going to be one of the white parents that sit around and you went to school and now for the rest of your life I'm just taking care of you, you're wrong. But number three, why are you not comparing yourself to other black wealthy children? And I think that says a lot that y'all live in Atlanta, and it seems like his only cup of fucking tea as far as friends is white people. You live in Atlanta. There should be no shortage of children, black children who have means. We're not talking about Colorado, Beverly Hills, Salt Lake City. We're not talking about that. We're talking about Atlanta. And on top of that, the fact that you're in Atlanta around all of them fucking black people. I know Atlanta is like fake rich, some of them. But all of those people in Atlanta that got that money and you still feel the need like you can sit on your ass and do nothing? Absolutely the fuck not. Super disrespectful to sit in your mother's face. Like she said, call regular undergrad, I got you. But when it comes to graduate school, I'm pretty sure 10 times out of 10, they would co-sign a loan for you. And the crazy part is, because you didn't have to take out any, because you don't have any debt, because you have nothing, your credit should be stellar at this point that you don't even need your parents to fucking co-sign a loan for you. But I bet you they would. I bet you they would still co-sign a loan for you. But no, it's going to be on your ass to pay for it. I'm not paying for you to go to law school. No, you're not going to fuck up on my dime, because that's the problem. Because Simone is the one paying, you don't feel the need to do nothing because it ain't coming out of your pocket. Let me say, one of the first things that was said to me when I got to college in that room was one of my professors was like, As far as attendance, the person was like, I don't really care about attendance. You come or you don't come. But you just know that these tests are due. You know, the tests are these days, you know, according to the syllabus, and the papers are due this day. But know this, you're the one paying for this. So if you decide that you don't want to come to school and utilize what you paid for, that's your business. That's not mine. Either way, I get paid. And that's how I look at it too. Like, you was cool with it because your mom and your dad was paying for it. But if you actually had to get your ass up and go to work and pay for yourself to go to school the way everybody else do, you would not be taking it for granted. And most importantly, we're going to get to Cecil's ass in a second, but I got to jump back on Simone's ass. It's Simone's fault and Cecil's for not instilling work ethic in these fucking kids. There is a balance. You know, I have a 2-year-old daughter. So these are things that, like, I'm really trying to figure out because, you know, it's not like I had my kid, like, when I, like, this is not even trying to be shady. My mom had me when she was 15. I'm not in that situation where I was a teenage parent or where I'm, like, in my early 20s or, like, where I'm super struggling. I had my baby at 28 years old, okay? When I had a good-ass corporate job. I mean, a corporate job where I only go in 2 days a week, where I make very good money, where I pretty much work from home. Pretty much. I'm hybrid. I go in 2 days. Like I said, I work from home. My kid ain't even got to fucking go to daycare. Like, it's not the same thing, right? So because of that, I am very weary of the things that I'm able, like, just within her short little two-year life, I've given her more than I've ever gotten in a good majority of my life. She's been to so many places in her short little life. So it makes me think about how I need to raise her, you know, because she's going to have way more than I ever had. And there has to be a balance between giving your kid, you know, the life that you didn't, but also having them value it. Because I have a cousin who, their father is a doctor, their mother is like a top exec at the IRS, and he's the only child, and spoiled rotten. And when he graduated from high school, we went, you know, I went to New York, whatever, for my cousin's graduation. So disrespectful. The way that Michael was acting towards Simone, that's really why it triggered me. Because that's how my cousin was acting towards his mom during that day. His mom is super emotional, crying like it's her only fucking child. And he's being a dick walking around. I don't know why she, why she won't talk to me. My great aunt had to yoink his little ass up. Right before, because his shit was at the Barclay Center, his graduation was, right there on Atlantic Avenue. She yanked his ass up because you got me fucked up. Do you know how much work your mom put in to give you the life that you have, for you to even make it to where you're graduating from a fucking private ass school? You've been in private school your whole damn life. And not only that, your mom is about to pay for you to go to school. And not only that, but pay for you to stay in a fucking apartment. And you want to be disrespectful? Absolutely the fuck not. There has to be a balance. And the one thing I will say about my cousin, because growing up, like, his mom, like, wasn't really the type to, like, discipline. But the good balance is that my other aunts, they didn't play that shit with him. And his mom would sit there and let them yank him up because she wasn't going to do it. But you had to have somebody step up and be like, hey, none of that. Cut that shit the fuck out. Be respectful. Let me tell you something. And I heard that Simone got him a Tesla. Girl, so everything that continues to happen, if you got him a Tesla, I want to let you know, everything that happens is going to continue to happen. Because guess what? My cousin that I'm speaking about, he is now married, right? And he's still living at home. Now, I don't blame too much because it's the city of New York. But still, he's married and he's still living with his mama at the age of like 28. So if that's what you want your future to be, God bless. At some point in time, it would have to be cut off. In this household, at the age of 16, my daughter will be getting a good job. That is going to be a requirement. Because if you want a car, somebody got to put gas in that bitch, and somebody got to pay the car note. I pay for your insurance because you're going to be on my insurance. But somebody got to pay that car note, and somebody got to pay that gas. And I guarantee you it will not be me. Hell no. Absolutely the hell no. That was so disrespectful. And then Cecil. Bitch, Cecil. That shit was so weak as far as I'm concerned. You cannot, and this is something else too, right? When it comes to like parenting and stuff and just being in a relationship, marriage, whatever. You have to have a united front. You could have felt like some of the things that Michael was saying was right and that Simone was like, you know, maybe a little bit off or whatever. But the point of the matter is, We're here because your son racked up $60,000 and is asking for a new fucking car. And he's also asking me to pay for fucking school. And you don't feel the need, to be quite honest, Cecil should have just said nothing. If you wasn't going to have her back, say nothing and just be like, I'm with your mom. I'm with your mom. That's how my daddy be. Whenever my mama be going fuck off, which is very rarely, but when she do be going off and one of us try to go to him, nope, whatever your mom say, nope, that's be him, nope. Nope, it's whatever your mom said. I don't want to hear it. Whatever your mom said. Nope, nope. That is literally how he handles it. Even if you don't want to necessarily be on her side and y'all can have a conversation later, but in front of the kids, y'all keep a united front. It's whatever your mom said. And then after, when y'all get in the car on the way home, if you want to have a deeper conversation, and then even double back to the kids later and be like, okay, I know that last situation was heated. Me and your mom had a conversation and we are in agreement that, Michael, you need to step up and do for yourself. We're going to co-sign a loan for you to get into law school, but all we're doing is co-signing, and that's it. And it's like for Cecil's response to be like, well, we are blessed and we are in a certain situation. I don't give a fuck. Bro, y'all are already paying for these kids to live. It's not even like they're living in your house. Like, at least for my cousin, I at least respect the fact that he just lived at home versus like, because he did live on his own and she paid rent for him for a whole year, but then he just ended up moving back. I respect that more because at least you won't be up underneath my house where I'm also eating and drinking. I'm not going to pay for somewhere else for you to live. And then you constantly disrespecting me. And Cecil, I'm sorry. I hate to do that as a man. But as a man and as a father, you not showing your sons that they need to stand on their 2 feet and not rely on a woman. I don't give a fuck that it's their mom. It's still a woman that they're relying on for them to fucking be fine in life. How about we switch it, because all men care about a lot of times is see around that age anyway. How about you frame it as into what woman gonna want to fucking deal with your bum ass? You're a bum. Michael, you're a bum. Don't no woman want no man that got their mama taking care of them? That's the type of man you want to be? You want to be the man that has their mama taking care of them? At 25, 26, 27, 28, are you crazy? All credit cards would be cut off. That would be the last day. And I felt, oh man, when Simone was screaming at the top of her lungs, I give you everything. Baby, that shit hit my heart because I've been there. I don't have, I want to say, bitch, I don't even have 0.000. We could do 1,010,001% of what Simone has. But because of the fact that I have a decent job, I'm in corporate America, everybody assumes that I got it like that. And just because this year I went to Vegas, I went to Seattle, I did like 5-6 trips this year. Just because I went to 5-6 trips this year, that don't mean that I got that money for y'all. It don't. It does not. It used to be, and I understand that, like, when you're the person of means within your family, there is a guilt that's there. When I first got this job that I have now, and the very first bonus that I got, baby, you talking about somebody who's going from working from a call center, and your bonus is like $50 or $100, if that. The first bonus I got at this job, the first thing I did was divvy out money. I literally sent this person $500, this person $300, this person $200. And that's what I did the first few years of my job, when every time I got a bonus. Because my bonuses were so nice. I was just so much to the fact to where that's what niggas started to expect around it. Niggas knew my bonus time before I did, bitch. And at some point in time, you gotta cut that shit off. When you're the person who got somewhat means in the family and everybody feel like you a fucking, like you Bill Gates when you not, you gotta cut it off. And for me having, the minute I got pregnant, that's when all of that shit was dead, baby. All of that shit was dead the minute that I got pregnant. The minute I got pregnant, oh, y'all's on y'all own. That one right there, in the back, yelling and screaming like she listen to Simmons Rachel, that's the one all my bread go to. But however, that's going to be to a certain point as well. Because once her ass can work, I'm going to still make sure you got your basics and all of that shit. But you are going to learn how to take care of yourself. You're going to learn. You're going to learn budgeting. You're going to learn financing. You're going to learn all that shit. You ain't going to be in the place that I pay for disrespecting me. If I was a mom, I would have kicked them the fuck out. Get the fuck out of my apartment. That'd be me. Get the fuck out of my apartment. How about that? That's why the other son sat there and didn't say anything. Because he knew. I wouldn't have got Michael shit. You could get the fuck out of this apartment, actually. Go figure it out on your own. since you don't want to be respectful of the luxuries. And Cecil, guess what? Matter of fact, Cecil, you can stay here with these niggas since you on their side. All three of y'all figure it out. I'm going to my house. Hello, because Simone has her own house. I'm going to my fucking house. And y'all three niggas figure it out. Child, that shit send me. But y'all get the comments. I gotta go get the street. I'm out. Bye.